I think I'm only on telephone. I can't figure out how to see the screen yet. I clicked the Zoom meeting.
Make sure everyone gets logged in before we start, okay, to Zoom. If we need to resend out a link, can you do that, Autumn?
Yes, I can. Let me open that tab.
I mean, I have the link, but it's not cooperating.
Well, mine's not new. It's like I've got a blank screen.
Mine just says launching on my laptop, so I thought I would try on my phone, but my phone is only letting me call in. Unless you can see me. I don't know if you can.
Actually, you know what, Autumn, I have a link on my phone I can forward to everyone.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what you had.
Okay. Is it gadelman@gmail.com?
That'll work.
Okay. And share it.
Oh, you know what? I just had to close the screen. I can see, well, it's on my phone though, it's tiny. So no, that's not gonna work.
I'm still trying to log in, so if you want to go ahead and shoot off, then I can just be on the phone.
You're still trying to log in, so I believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna power up my PC again. My mouse had locked up, so I don't know if my mouse is gonna be working or not. So between that and so I'm on my laptop, and my laptop link isn't working. So I'm powering my PC back up. Let's see what you sent.
Heather, are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Okay.
The link I logged in on is the link I just sent both Gay and Sharon.
Okay.
And then I chose to do my phone as the audio.
Okay, I can see it on my PC now.
You see the bylaws up?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if Sharon can get on.
So you're on Monday.
Pardon?
You're on Monday. You can see the bylaws up and everything.
Yes.
Okay, good. So Sharon, where are you at?
I am getting blank screen. Totally. I've done it on both computers. Both computers give me a blank screen. She's not popping up on our list either.
Yeah, no, but you have bylaws. You said Sharon, so you're good.
Yes, I did. Yes.
joining us on this Friday afternoon. I appreciate everyone on the call. And so I'd like to start off with listening to Gay. I'd like to hear your concerns, and so we can discuss everything.
Okay, well, my concerns are just around the vagueness, I guess, behind what to do in a situation when there's a death of an officer, especially with the president-elect position, since it's uncharted territory, I guess, as to whether or not, even if that position is filled by the executive board, are they fulfilling the last of their existing term as well as rolling into the president position. I just didn't see in the bylaws where that was real clear. And I also did not see any notice posted that his position would be filled by an executive board decision. And so I wondered if that had been posted. And I was trying to find in the bylaws where it addressed the president-elect. Can you point me to that?
Yes. Sorry, I'm writing all this down. I'm sure I can hear everything. Okay. So the bylaws where it points to it in the rules is going to be on. Hold on. Sorry, I have them here. Let me see you. It's on page 7, correct, Sharon? Am I quoting correctly? My parliamentarian?
Yes.
Okay. And it's section 12. A vacancy occurring in any other elective office shall be filled for the unexpired term by a person elected by the board of directors managers. 10 days notice having been given. And then it says voting shall be by ballot if there is no more than one nominee for the office and a majority of the cast shall constitute an election. And so according to the 15th district minutes in January of 2019, Autumn Nagel as president charged the nominating committee because it had been past 30 days of the death of the president-elect for the nominating committee to come up with a candidate to bring forth at the February board meeting for be elected in by the 15th District PTA board. Am I correct on that, everyone? Or Sharon and Autumn?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And so that is the section that they came to. And so it's section 12 to fill the vacancy.
Where was the 10 days notice?
That's on page 7 of the bylaws.
It doesn't say where the...
10 days notice given to the board.
Because they're the only ones that are voting on it. It's not open to the general membership.
Correct. It was the board voting on it, and so the notice was given to the 15th District Board.
And so where does it say that he or she will become president at the end of that term?
Yeah.
Because the president has always been a position that's been open to the general membership.
Hold on. I have checked with council on it, but I know that it is not specifically staked out in the bylaws. Yay, but it's that the president-elect does move forward as the president.
But that person,
correct, Sharon?
that person was elected by the general membership to serve as president at the end of their term, not appointed by a board.
Yes, the president-elect automatically moves up to be president. So we have the president-elect that passed away, and the bylaws give the board of directors the authorization to fill that vacancy.
The nominating committee
So
called.
the bylaws currently stand.
The nominating committee called me, and I expressed an interest in the president-elect position. Do you know if that was brought forward to the executive board for consideration?
I believe the nominating. Go ahead, Heather.
Okay, the nominating committee did consider all of the candidates. Yes, I was told by the committee, and they brought forth the one name for vote, and that was Autumn Targe that she tasked them with, was to come forth with one name, but they were to consider all candidates.
Heather, she might be getting confused because they might have been calling her for this next president-elect. I'm not sure. You all need to clarify that.
All right, can you clarify that, Gay? Was it for?
Or Autumn.
I can clarify that. I gave them a list because the president-elect has certain terms that they have to have been sit on the board for at least 1 year before being a president-elect. So I gave them the names of everyone that was on the 15th District Board at least 1 year prior to this election. So some of my board members have been on not quite a year, but so they were not eligible, but past people. So that list also included like Barbara Fisher. It included Sharon Whitworth and Heather Wampler, because you all have been on the board at least 1 year. Jay was on there. Anyone that had served for at least 1 year on the executive board, or I'm trying to think of the executive board, or no, on the board of directors, that name was given. I'll double check that. I remember I said board or board of directors.
So let me just rephrase something to make sure I understand. When they called me, it was because they had my name on a list of 22 others that were eligible specifically to serve in the president role only.
President-elect role.
Oh, even to serve as president-elect, you have to have a year experience? Even though you'll be getting 2 years experience
Yes.
in that role?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to find more out the bylaws, but yes.
Yeah, I was looking for it too.
I don't care. So many people's bylaws, and every one of them are different. Districts are different. And I'm looking at every state's bylaw. Let's see.
What was her question again, Jane?
It's about the 1 year being on the board where it states it in the bylaws.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's on page 5, section 9, qualifications for officers. Number B, under 9, only those who have served at least 12 months on the district board of directors / manager shall be eligible for the office of president and president-elect.
So when they called, they were calling about the president-elect position that is open this May coming up?
Yes, the president-elect, so you would be president-elect for 19 to 21 and president from 21 to 23.
Because they called me again this week to do interviews. So what was the difference between the initial call and the call this week?
They were calling, from what I've been told, they were calling to see if anyone who had interest, and then the call this week was for those who had interest and to interview with the entire nominating committee. So the first call was them calling everyone.
To my understanding, the nominating committee called everyone that was on the list that wanted to be on any position. they qualified those that could be president-elect because they had to be on the board at least 1 year. That isn't a requirement for the VPs.
All right. Well, thank you for helping me understand this better. I still feel like the organization is very cliquish, and I have people contacting me regularly who want to serve, but they get shut out. And I don't think that appointing someone to a president-elect, soon-to-be president position without transparency is good for that feeling that people have. And I would encourage you to be more growth-oriented in putting a board together. I saw the slate came out, and I see that several people that I thought would have made good candidates were not on there. I see a lot of the same people that were in other seats, not a lot of new names. And I also know that I was forced out because of a cliquish feeling, if for lack of a better term. It just doesn't feel open and welcoming to people who are supposed to be your allies. And I think we're all working for the same cause. And I don't know why I feel like I'm treated like an enemy regularly. So that's about it.
I can definitely respect a lot of what you're saying. Okay, I don't want us to ever be a clique. That's something as state president I go through and preach. I do not want us to be a clique. So I've made a note of that. And something to continue to work and strive on. And code transparency. Okay, I think personally you do amazing work on your advocacy. I mean, you have made some and I'm not just saying this, I sincerely mean it. You have made some incredible differences for the kids across our state in the advocacy work you do. And with your JCTS and SOSKY and other groups you're affiliated with in Coalition, you have the power to use your voice in incredible ways. And I really do thank you and truly admire you. Again, I'm not just saying this, I really mean it. Because I do follow the work you're doing. And it's very, very meaningful. And you are making a difference in the state of Kentucky. I do appreciate you bringing out these points to us. Because these are points that we do need to take into and look at in order to continue to always grow our association.
I will second that. And as far as the PTA slate that was put out, 4 of those people are not on our board currently that have never served on the district. 4 of them are on our board, but 4 are brand new to the district board.
Okay.
But anyone has an opportunity to also run from the floor.
Sure. Yeah.
Because when the slate goes out, they'll be given notice and all of that. So, and that will be then, that election is due process.
All right. Well, thank you for your words. Those are very kind words. You didn't have to say that, and that's not what I'm fishing for in this conversation.
I know you're not gay, but I mean, I want you to understand, you can speak on topics and issues. I can't because I'm silenced from PTA. And I guess for me, I know you have my back because you're out there and you can talk about it. And I love PTA. Please do not mistake me. I mean, but I do really, truly appreciate you. And I know for the things I can't say, you are saying them. So I thank you. And it's something I don't say enough. So.
Again, thank you. I guess I would just like to see us stop the privatization theft that is underway. And I don't know, I would appreciate knowing that PTA was doing more even if it was just not fighting me sometimes. I don't always feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there about me, and I don't really feel like people are coming to my defense, so the misinformation continues to get spread. People who know me and know that I'm not the things that are being said are silent. So if you truly believe what you're saying, if you have an opportunity to just correct someone when they're wrong, I would really appreciate that. And and you also know that I'm trying to do fundraising through printing. The money that's brought back in helps offset our printing costs and things that we pay out of pocket as volunteers. And so I brought you a royalty agreement idea that would bring serve as a fundraiser for the PTA as well. I would really appreciate it if you would give that some serious thought and not just shut it out because it's me.
I've heard a little bit that I don't know, because you're with Digital Promotion. They were a vendor last year at our Kentucky PTA convention, and I actually used Digital Promotion for things. Yeah,
I know you do. I see your stuff come through there all the time. I know you're using them.
Okay, because actually I'm getting ready to place another large order with them. So,
yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm using Digital Promotion.
And we appreciate that business. We're willing to, if you'll promote it to specifically JCPS. I gave a royalty agreement to Autumn. If you'll promote it to your PTAs, any business that comes through as a result of those, actually any PTA business, period, we're not even going to try to keep track of whether it came as a result of you promoting it or not. Just any PTA business, we're going to kick a royalty back up to the 15th district as a fundraiser. So there's really no risk in it.
Is your boss getting an event? Is he getting a booth this year or the convention again?
Probably. He was at the 15th district one last week. We were. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. And the work is done in-house, so you're cutting out the middleman. There's other people that are out there selling merchandise, but they get a markup, and we're actually the shop they come to. It's quick turnaround.
I can't speak for Autumn, but I can just speak. I know at 15th we do use them. I'm not 15th. I'm so sorry. I'm confused now. At 15th we use you guys regularly Digital Promotion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I see your stuff. I see the name badges.
I don't know about 15th.
But if the schools will use it.
I'm getting ready to do some final wall clinks with you guys. So.
Excellent. Yeah. If the individual schools will use them, we'll keep track and send you guys a finder's fee, a royalty or whatever. So if you could put that in front of your board, Autumn, at your next meeting, I would really appreciate it.
I actually did put it in front of my board. They actually tabled it the first month. There was questions. Eddie spoke highly about digital promotions because he actually, I think, the one that first brought them to Kentucky PTA, if I'm not correct.
Probably.
If I'm not incorrect.
Yeah.
Heather.
Yeah, he did.
So he spoke highly of the company. The biggest concern was the monthly email or blast to PTAs. Since we don't do monthly blasts, I try to limit it. I mean, we're hitting more right now, but some months I don't send a MailChimp out. And because of that, it was actually voted down last Tuesday. The concern was we were putting one vendor in front of another, so therefore we're showing favoritism and we're saying support this vendor over someone else. So because of those two things, the board voted it down. It wasn't a straight, well, I can't tell the vote tallies, but it was voted down at the last Tuesday meeting.
Okay, let me respond to that if you don't mind. I think the marketing piece of it was an example, and you're welcome to mark through it and say we can't do this, but here's what we can do or whatever, and bring it back to us. So if the email blast was a concern, then that's certainly something we can address. Regarding supporting one vendor over another, I don't know that it's any different. It's a fundraiser, so I don't know that it's any different than the Papa John's fundraisers you do. You know, you're promoting one pizza over another, but if Pizza Hut or somebody brought you a deal, then you could promote it too.
So
And
let me speak.
go ahead.
I agree with you, Jay. Let me speak to that one. I had just gotten slaughtered when they did the Papa John's at state level, and so I actually had to have a long talk with Autumn and her board about that. So, and then.
And that might not be the best example because I know a lot of people don't like Papa John's because they're not pro public education. They're part of the problem, actually. But that's a different.
I'm not saying the thing. I did have to get down on them about.
Sure.
A lot of complaints on that one. So.
But if another vendor brought you a similar.
It wasn't intentionally not trying to hurt you. I guess it wasn't intentionally me coming down upon them over that. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say here?
No, I lost
cut
you.
out, Heather.
Sorry, I think it's the time, it was a bad timing there. If that makes sense, because your guys' vote, and it had just come off of the Papa John's.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I understand it was a vote, but it just came off that, and so I just want to point that out to Gay, that we just came off that. I just nailed them for all my complaints that my phone blew up on. And so,
But
once they nailed them, it just, hey, guys,
well,
be careful picking fundraisers. So.
Exactly, because Papa John's has got some political baggage, and they're not pro-public education. They're known for not being pro-public education. So digital promotions wouldn't have that same kind of baggage, I would hope, right?
Right.
And so if it had been a different time, I think I'm just asking if I'm understanding it correctly. If it had been a different time, that might have passed.
I think if it been a different time, honestly, Eddie, it would have passed. I truthfully, I know Eddie's very, very pro digital promotions. I mean, he takes pictures of the work you guys do for his, business, personal, all the time.
Yep.
Your guys' work I'm very happy with. So I don't think in this instance this was at all personal. I think it was a matter of timing.
All right, so Autumn, would you test the market or test the water every so often to see when you think the right time to bring that back up would be?
I can mention it to people that voted no because as a motion has been closed out, it can't be brought back unless someone that voted no against it brings it back forward.
Okay.
I will put it to those people that did, and it'll be up to them to be able to bring it back. But I will speak to them on that.
Okay. Fair enough. I think that addresses my concerns.
I just wanted to make sure you know, too, Gay, I will communicate with you better, Gay, on issues that PTA can't speak of because of national positions. So I will work better with you on that.
All right. I would appreciate that
so
because...
if we're being silent and not supportive,
yeah.
I will let you know I happen to be silent because of this. Or it could be because of my partnership with Heat also.
With who?
Between one of the two. I'll let you know why.
What was the other one? Partnership with who?
Heat, Kentucky Education Action Team. It's the ABC group.
Right.
The Kentucky PTA belongs to in Frankfurt.
Yes, gotcha. And sometimes with national...
They limit me sometimes with some of my coalitions.
Yes. Sometimes with national, it's just a use of semantics because they're trying to address a broader market. But really, taking money away from schools is one of the things they oppose, regardless if it's charters or anything else. So, being able to...
We were on board with that, and we promoted that heavily.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely not an issue. Part of what we ran into an issue is the teacher walkout, because it's an interesting situation in Kentucky. We were one of the first states. This had nothing to do with salary. This had to do with pension, and they were there fighting to make sure all funds stayed with public education.
Right.
And so those are two issues that National does agree upon. But the walkout part is where it's all different. And so that was a hard one. So we were pushing hard for the public education. We're pushing hard, too, for the teachers for their pension. And so the only part that I had to be careful upon is because the teachers were calling in sick. And for the most part, that's where then you have freedom of speech. And I'm like, you go gay. Because I have to made it difficult. So as much as I was pushing all of these bills, we were trying. I hope you've noticed this year. We've sent out far more action alerts. We've tried sending out more social media posts. We've really tried to be far more active. We've met with more legislators in Frankfurt and so definitely trying to make much more of an effort. But I'm not saying we don't have room to improve. We always have room to improve. But that was the one thing, and it was hard for me because on this one, I mean, the teachers were there fighting for our kids.
Right.
It wasn't about the money for them.
Right.
But
right. And
so.
and then also SB 250 taking away our voice just because it's passing and the governor's going to sign it. I think we can spend the next year or two going to those schools that are picking principals and pointing out, look, this has been taken away from you. You know, there's legislation that we should be fighting to reverse right now because it only affects Jefferson County. And, you know, what testimony are you willing to provide, or get them engaged in the political process while they understand a direct cause and effect. Like there's work we can do.
I'm going to really turn that heavily over to 15th District to work on.
Yep.
Because I'm working with them at, I think it's, Sharon, help me with my acronym, is it KE, who's the school council?
KASC.
I know the school.
Lynn Sloan.
We're working with Lynn Sloan and all of her office right now on trying to see how we can get a reversal, what we can do and support. So at the state level, I'm working on, we need to somehow get this fixed and what we can do. And so then I'm going to wind up charging, you are correct there, Gay. The district level with more helping make sure that that Jefferson County is prepared for handling this.
Sure. And you know what would be really helpful is as we bring people into the awareness of this, not only fight to get it reversed, but get SBDMs restored at all schools. Like our priority schools are still lacking this voice, and this has been hugely detrimental to schools like Shawnee and Iroquois and, you know, you name it. So maybe this will be a good eye-opening experience for those who are just having it taken away, where they can not only fight to get their own back, but get it back for everyone. And,
you're right.
And add a parent, because they talked about it this last fall and then they didn't do it. Let's make it better.
I'm writing big notes, and so
and we do have a resolution to add another parent. We've had that on our in our resolutions for years, and we almost got it passed back in '96, and then it failed.
Let's bring.
It came up again this year, and I heard it's coming up next year. So next year, I know there's going to be a big push to add a third parent on.
Excellent.
And Pritchard Committee does not want to add another parent. So
Pritchard does not want a third. Yeah, they still do. Pritchard Committee does not want a third parent.
Whatever.
So, but we're pushing for a third parent.
All right. And then can you get a resolution going to restore it for all schools? Can that be another resolution?
Actually, if you want to work with Sherry Demar, she's the federal legislative chair for state. Sherry, is that correct? We can work on a resolution for that.
yeah, but I think you need to look in your standing rules, and maybe even your bylaws. There's a particular date that they have to do to state PTA or to be voted on by the state convention.
Okay. Let me look into that day, and I'll get back to you to see if we're to our conventions in July is in Lexington.
Okay.
But today you can start working on it, because what you need is whereas's,
Okay.
statistics and researches. That's what the whereas's are.
Yeah.
And then the result is what you want actually us to do, or what you actually want the state legislature to do, or what you want the commissioner to do. That's the results. You can have like 2, 3, or 4 results if you want.
Okay.
If resolve that the Kentucky PTA educates the parents all over the Commonwealth about so they you know, that could be a result.
Okay. Yep.
Just pass on that. And the whereas is like statistics. It's been shown that if parents are involved in the governance of the school, kids perform better. You know, I'm just pass on that.
All right. Yeah. That's all good. Yeah, just make sure I don't miss a deadline. If you could, Heather, let me know.
April 15th.
It has to be to state.
There's a process to that too.
Okay.
If we go to Sherry, if you write a resolution, and it goes to Sherry legislative committee to see if they want to put it forth to the convention.
Okay.
And then if they do, then it comes to the convention for a vote.
Yours has to be submitted by April 15th, Gay, and I'll get you all the guidelines to what it is.
Okay, perfect. And I'm going to get Karen Bennett to help me with that.
Yeah. And Jan, you can look up on our leadership manual. It talks about how to do a resolution. Unless y'all taking that out there, but that is.
I don't think so, but I'll try and send you a copy of that to you, Gay.
Okay. Sounds great. That's all I got. Thank you, ladies.
Do you have any other questions we can help? Okay.
Not today.
Great. Thank you, Gay. Appreciate everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.